The Miami Heat mounted a strong comeback on Monday night, erasing an early 19-point deficit to defeat the Philadelphia 76ers 106-89. The Heat were led by Jimmy Butler, who returned from a sprained ankle to score a season-high 30 points. His performance was a key factor in Miami's ability to turn the game around after trailing for much of the first half. Tyler Herro also played a significant role, contributing 18 points, while Duncan Robinson added 13. Drew Smith stepped up with 10 points, helping Miami secure a dominant second-half performance. The Heat, who were playing their first home game in 2 weeks, had struggled early in the season with third-quarter performances, but they turned that around dramatically in this game. They outscored Philadelphia 35-16 in the third quarter, a stark contrast to their earlier struggles. It was a night of mixed fortunes for the Philadelphia 76ers, who continue to struggle this season, now losing 11 of their first 13 games. Jared McCain led the way for the 76ers, scoring 20 points, while Paul George added 18. Former Heat forward Caleb Martin, now with Philadelphia, chipped in with 12 points. Joel Embiid, playing in just his third game of the season after missing time with injuries, scored 11 points in 31 minutes. Despite the return of their star player, the 76ers couldn't hold on to a comfortable lead and faltered in the second half. Key moments of the game. The 76ers had control early, building a 19-point lead in the second quarter, their biggest lead of the season. However, the Heat refused to let the game slip away. Miami went on an 11-3 run to close out the first half, cutting the 76ers' lead down to just 56-53 at the break. That run shifted the momentum in the Heat's favor, and they came out of halftime with renewed energy. The third quarter was where the Heat made their biggest statement. After being outscored 137-71 in third quarters across their previous 4 home games, Miami turned the tables on Philadelphia. The Heat dominated the period, outscoring the 76ers 35-16. It was a total team effort, with Butler leading the charge, Herro adding his usual scoring, and Robinson contributing timely shots. Philadelphia had no answer for the Heat's offensive onslaught, and by the time the third quarter ended, Miami had built a commanding lead. For the 76ers, it was another tough night. They had been in control early, but their inability to maintain their lead proved costly. The game marked the first time this season that a team led by at least 19 points and then trailed by 20 or more in the same game. Philadelphia's defense, which had been solid for stretches, broke down in the second half, allowing Miami to capitalize on open shots and fast breaks. Philadelphia was again without Tyrese Maxey, who missed his 6th consecutive game due to a hamstring injury. Head coach Nick Nurse provided an update on Maxey's condition, stating that the young star had participated in most of the team's practice on Sunday. Nurse said they were expecting an update on Maxey's status on Tuesday, but his absence continues to be felt by the 76ers. For Miami, the Heat were also dealing with injuries. Jamie Jaquez Jr. was out with an ankle injury, and point guard Terry Rozier, who has been playing through a right foot issue, did not see the court on Monday. Rozier revealed after the team's loss in Indiana that his foot has been bothering him for much of the season, and his absence was notable in this game. What's next? For the 76ers, their 3-game road trip concludes on Wednesday in Memphis, where they will look to snap their losing streak and avoid falling further behind in the standings. Meanwhile, the Heat will have a longer break before their next game. Due to a scheduling quirk, Miami doesn't play again until Sunday, when they will host the Dallas Mavericks. This will give the Heat time to regroup and rest after a tough stretch of games. Final thoughts. Monday night's victory was a much-needed boost for the Miami Heat. After a rocky start to the season, especially in their home games, this win gives them confidence moving forward. For the 76ers, the loss is another frustrating chapter in a difficult season, but they will look to regroup and get healthy, particularly with Maxey's return on the horizon. As the season progresses, both teams will need to find consistency to contend for a playoff spot in what is shaping up to be a competitive Eastern Conference.